In this Unbound interview, I, the Reverend Lee Cato, the editor of Unbound, sat down with Ty Herndon, Michael Passons, and Melissa Greene as they talk about the re release of Testify to Love, which was a career defining hit for a contemporary Christian music group called Avalon back in 1997 when I was around 9 or 10 years old. But Avalon found a special place in my heart. And along with Ty's music, that is what I grew up listening to. And as a queer Southern boy who was a person of faith, it was a big journey for me to reconcile being queer and being from the South, but also enjoying country music and Christian music. And now that has become a lot easier because Testify to Love has been re released and reframed for the LGBTQIA plus community as a song of welcome and belonging and love and acceptance. And so I thought it was really important to sit down with these three wonderful musicians and artists, and I would even say practical theologians in their own right. And so we hope you enjoy this interview with Ty and Michael and Melissa to talk about the re release of Testify to Love. Well,
To
hello to my wonderful guest. So, Unbound, we do interviews every once in a while. And just a few, like maybe a week ago, I looked on Instagram and I saw something that, really brought a tear to my eye. I'm going to be very honest with all y'all. I grew up listening to Avalon,
Okay.
and I grew up, I
Same.
was born in 1988. And I feel like 1997, like 1996 era was like very formational for me. Like as like I was almost a 10-year-old and I listened to y'all's music growing up. Ty, I listened to yours. I listened to all kind of contemporary Christian music, but Avalon was the thing, the group that I listened to. And
Nice.
I
Uh,
remember when Testify to Love came out,
yeah, that
and
was 97.
yeah, and it really, like, took us all by storm if we were in that realm, and we heard it everywhere, and then I saw that you were re-releasing it, and being a little queer boy from the South, it really did it really did touch me, like, touch my heart, like, very deeply to see that y'all are living who y'all were created to be, and someone who grew up listening to your music, trying to figure that out and reconciling those things, I don't think you realize how big of a moment that is for so many of us to be able to reconcile our contemporary Christian past, and then seeing y'all re-release it in that context. So, first and foremost, I just wanna say thank you for doing that as a little queer boy from South Carolina who took a long time to reconcile being a person of faith and also being queer and being Southern and growing up on this music. So, I really appreciate it, y'all. So, I just wanted to
Thank
say
you.
that.
That's very humbling, actually. And we might have thought a lot of ourselves in 97 because it took off like it did, but it took off again this week. So it's maybe the song more than the messenger because it's such a beautiful song and the way it's taken off twice in a row. I think just this message is what's resonating with people. And like you said, now that it's more inclusive message, I think it's even more rocket fuel for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a little problem with all of this. I'm a performer, and and for this last week, I don't cry a lot. But oh my goodness, I'm doing it now. I can't even talk about it. To see number one, to hold on, Coke. This calls for coconut water. Number one, to see my friend, our friends, Michael fly like this is so beautiful, and it's not really for us, it's about the truth and about love, for everyone claiming that because you it already lives in you, um, but then also to see all these testimonies. Woo! I just gotta give, see, I cannot even talk. Ooh, take a breath. Seriously, it's
Breathe,
been like this
breathe,
for me.
Ty.
'Cause I guess I had some stuff to heal too, I just, my husband has just laughed at me a little bit because he's like, "Oh my god, you're a crybaby this week." I said, "I am. I am. I love all these people. I love my friends, and to see, just to see people opening up, it's beautiful."
It
It
is
is.
beautiful. Yeah, it really is.
Y'all
But
talk now. Y'all can talk now. I'm gonna shut up.
Well, you mentioned stories. You mentioned stories. People, and I've said this at other places, people aren't just commenting with an emoji heart. They are writing their stories to us. And some of
They
them are
are.
joyful, some of them are heartbreaking, some
Yeah.
of them, if I try to repeat them to you, I'm going to break down crying.
Yeah.
And so, I read them all. And because if you're going to take the time to send it to me, I'm going to honor that and I'm going to read it. And we are overwhelmed and humbled by it all.
And Lord, we got some lip syncers out there. They lip syncing to Jesus. That's amazing.
they really are, and I will even say I even sang it at my church back at home. I mean, we had, like,
Go, Lee.
the instrumental and everything else, and I will say y'all influenced my own voice because I tried to emulate. I sang
Give us some.
a
Give
high
us some of it,
tenor.
Lee.
Oh god, no, not right now. But I do think y'all really did influence a whole generation of people, but I wonder, like, Melissa, how has this been for you as well?
It's been lovely, and like they said, the most overwhelming last 6 days. I think when we did this we first sang this last year at Ty's event, the Concert for Love and Acceptance, and, Michael and I have sang it a bunch over the years post Avalon days, but we'd sang it and sort of reclaimed it and had this moment for him last June, and that was beautiful in and of itself, that he could reclaim this, that he could sing this standing on his own 2 feet, sure of who he was and presenting himself fully to the
And he
audience.
preached that night. He
Yeah,
preached. I love it.
it was beautiful. And so then when Ty mentioned, "No, let's actually re-record this, and I'd like to do this together." I mean, I honestly thought this was gonna be such a sweet and powerful moment for Michael, period. Just thought it was that, and I thought this was such a lovely moment for Ty to extend even his platform and his resources to do this for us and invite us in. Like, I just thought it was gonna be such a sweet moment, and it is, but
It
it's
is.
also so much more, and I
Yeah.
it is just it speaks to how needed this is right now in these times and what's happening in our world and within Christian spaces and religious spaces, and, it's just so deeply meaningful. It's meaningful to be a part of it in the small way that we thought it was gonna impact
Mhm.
people, and now in this very large, expansive way that it's continuing to impact. It's overwhelming.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, we need
It's
it. We
yeah.
definitely need it, and I think that, you speak to, like, all the stuff that's happening around us, like, in this country, and I think because of how a lot of the things that are happening in politics is also speaking in, like, the faith communities and how faith is being used to kind of justify some of these things. And so I wanted to ask, like, what does it mean for y'all to reframe this music? Because as I was saying, I grew up listening to either country music or contemporary Christian music. So y'all all coming together is like my childhood, really. And yet those genres were, you know, stereotype or not, we're kind of connected to a more conservative ideology and theologies, and some of us, again, it was very hard for us to reconcile, like, who we were, and some of us were, like, so gay, going to these, like, I went to Winter Jam, and I went to, like, all these things, and yet, now that you are kind of reframing this music, what does that mean for you, especially in a time such as this? Because I think that's also important for people to hear.
Well, I'll jump in real quick. I do believe that this just may have been divinely written a long time ago, and it filled a beautiful space of worship, and it did, and it clearly was implanted in people's hearts, and then it was kind of I can't have this anymore, so I don't think that I need to love this anymore. And the way music works, it always does. It finds a divine place. It heals. We use it to worship, to heal, to mourn, and just every now and then, like right now, it finds a space that opens up someone's heart, and you know this was divinely placed. Not only then, it's divinely placed now.
Mm,
The full circleness of it, from Michael to all the way up to politics, to people that agree with or people that don't. You cannot argue when you see thousands of people's eyeballs on video posts, and their heart had been able, because of a song, because of a story,
mm,
they they just are rejoicing. And so it doesn't matter. I speak for all of us. It doesn't matter about the naysayers or the haters, because
mm,
there's too much love in this tidal wave, in this tsunami of a true message about what love is. And I think that's what we all should stand for. I know that these people that I love and work with, they've always been that way. Um, and so let the tsunami continue of healing. I mean, I've read the word probably 1,000 times. My heart is healed today.
mm.
Did we set out to do that? That's not our job. We just set out to just send a joyful noise
Mm.
out. And I got to stop now. Woo! Hallelujah.
Well, Lee,
My,
you mentioned something about progressing to where we are. We all started out in a very similar place, very conservative, like you. And, you read Ty's new book, and it talks about his bringing up in a small Alabama church, small Mississippi church, um, and we've just in our own time made this same journey together to where we accept our identity ourselves and we stand firmly in the light of the acceptance of our creator. And that's a lot for some people to wrap their mind around. And so I'm just glad that we're able to hopefully this starts a ripple that will someday turn into a tidal wave that helps change our culture.
Yeah.
yes.
I think there's something also in the expansiveness of these lyrics specifically, like this song specifically, that speaks to something even beyond a Christian faith, honestly. Like it speaks directly to the heart of a Christian faith for many, but it also speaks to beyond that.
Mhm.
For me personally, and three of us as individuals share similar space in our worldview now, but we all landed a little bit differently, I'm sure, in lots of things. So this is me speaking for me only.
Mm,
But there are many songs that I recorded and I sang in church and I sang with Avalon that I will never sing again. I
mm,
cannot reclaim that. I don't want to reclaim it. It does not fit within my broader lens now. This song, however, still perfectly, not only does it
Yes.
perfectly fit, it actually fits better now. So I think us choosing to testify, to talk about, to share about a love that literally all of us are created in and can live out of, and that we can see literally in the natural world around us. I mean, this song speaks to all of that. And so
mhm,
for us to sing it in an even more broad way now and offer it to people, and this is also what I love, and you see this in the comments, and we've already spoken to it a little bit, but everybody's story is slightly different, and the healing that they need, many of them are within the LGBTQ community, and they need this so desperately. And I'm honored as an ally to stand here and literally support background vocals on this song, and then support others in this too. But there's also others that are not in LGBTQ community that just left the church, maybe because of how the church treated the LGBTQ
yeah,
community, or for how the church deals with bigotry and racism. And, we could go on forever. And they're like, wait, I'm healed. I still feel like held underneath this broad umbrella. And I want to reclaim this now, not because I need to be back in the church, or not because I'm still Christian, or not because I'm LGBT, but because I believe this idea of love is for everyone. And if we all acted in love and spoke with love, like that would heal the world. So to me, that is the power of what's happening in this
yeah,
moment with this song. Like it's covering all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
what she said.
Yeah, I think that makes so much sense because yeah, even when the original came out, it was a little bit more broad. The message was a little bit more broad than some other kinda contemporary Christian songs that were out there. But I also wonder, like, what has this like, I always have had this conversation with people that I wish that, contemporary Christian music did do more of this to kind of reclaim something because of kind of the ideology around it all, and it doesn't really have to be that way. And so I wonder about, like, how y'all have seen, like, these industries and Thai, like, even country music kinda has these ideologies surrounding it, but it's not always we always do a broad brushstroke over all these genres, and there's always difference within it. But I wonder how y'all have seen kind of these genres progress up until now, and because there are times where I plug up and listen to a contemporary Christian song just out of nostalgia because I
Mhm.
want something to connect me to the past or and even though the theology I might not agree with it now, but I do
Yeah.
wonder how y'all see it progress and maybe where you hope it will be in the
Uh,
future or work toward or what you're seeing now in the realm of your own genres. I wonder about that. I've always thought about that.
Well, first of all, the re-release of this is it's not it's finally for people not wrapped in trauma.
Yeah.
It's something that they lifted them out of their trauma and that they could sing it again.
Mm.
But I would also like to point out, you know, it's kind of historical that two faith-filled, God-loving LGBT people and one great ally are sitting for this second week at the top of the Christian charts.
Yeah.
And I have nothing. I have only love for the Lord, and my grandma taught me that if you put 1,000 hearts on the table, you see 1,000 beautiful hearts. You don't see race, color, sex. You just see 1,000 beautiful hearts that God made. So that's what I see when I see it at the top of those charts right now. And it won't be what everybody sees, but it is a moment to make people think. Because I will not stand down from my faith, and whether I'm a pig farmer from Alabama. I love the Lord, and I've found my way with that. But I know that I will hold up a mighty sword to anyone that's trying to hurt someone else, and especially in the name of God. So if my my God, some days it's a he, some days it's a she, some days it's a drag queen. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Well, amen to
it's
that. Yeah.
yes, and it's just um to say how it's changed. I can speak in country music.
Yeah.
We have seen a lot of change, a lot more open hearts. But I don't think we've seen. I'm in country. I'm not in the gospel world. These guys were in that. I don't know the answer to that question. I think this is probably landmark in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
and so we'll just have to see what happens. But I know that I can speak for all of us. I know we're going to keep making music. We're going to keep making music that matters, and maybe even together. We'll see.
Well, no, people have started commenting. They think that we are a group. And so
That's
who knows?
great.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe maybe that's pathetic. But I will say that I feel a little genreless right now because I haven't been
Yeah.
part of Christian music for many for decades. And I wasn't going for that this time around, but I'm glad it's landed there. Wherever it can land and reach people, that's great. And so I'm still figuring out my genre. But I I just love that it's being so well received, and it's just so overwhelming, and, it'll be a week in the morning, or midnight tonight that it released, and none of us saw this coming, and it's just such a humbling experience, really.
Well, I can tell you this, it usually takes me 18 to 20 to 450,000 weeks to get to number 1 on anything, just for a monumental week, thank you to everyone out there because
Yes.
it really has been mind-blowing, and I try not to think about it too much, but here's what I woke up 3 mornings in a row going, "Gosh, how must Michael feel?" When, I called him, I said, "Are you okay?" It's more than okay, but, his return to music is phenomenal for all of us,
Yeah.
and having Melissa Greene, j she's just my go-to singing girl from heaven, and,
And
For
also,
real.
to have
I
her say
want
yes to
to
this was beautiful, so
I wanna say something about what Melissa said. She said, "I was just a background on this," and that's not the way I see it. You bring a spirit to this song that is so much
wait till y'all
bigger
see
than.
the video.
Yeah.
Sorry to
Oh,
interrupt, Michael, yes.
yeah, her radiance, you just shine, girl, and that's all of us together is a perfect storm for a little mixture of rocket fuel that what made this song it would have soared anyway. It's the song. The song's beautiful, but I feel like the 3 of us together and our spirits, it's just a great combination.
And when you see the video coming next week, yeah, I want you to pay attention to Melissa has the most beautiful hand language that you've ever seen. Your hand language throughout the whole thing is so great.
Yeah, Melissa, I always loved your voice, by the way. Wonderful, wonderful. When they say you soar, you really do.
It couldn't
I
be that
fully
scene
agree
9
with
that she hits, is it?
that. Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it could be. It could
there
be.
was a there was a divine thread happening here that none of us really saw, but not surprised, really.
Yeah.
But there is a divine thread of friendship and doing what's right and standing up for all communities. And I'm so happy that the LGBTQ community feels so loved in this because we are and you are. And
Yeah.
but whoever you are out there, if you're you know sitting over on the side of a gravel road feeling rejected and thrown out, this song is for you too. This song is for everyone who's feeling a little bit broken on their path. It's expansive, and for me, if I left this earth tomorrow, this will be the thing I'm most proud of, and
Same.
Yeah.
I've got to do a lot. But I
Yeah.
said that without crying, so good. There you go.
Yeah, well, I think it just speaks to, like, the need that some of us, like, were yearning for. Like I was saying earlier, I think we just grew up not being able to reconcile any of these. Like, we were always taught, like, being queer, you couldn't be a Christian, or being queer, like, people tried to get my accent. Like, I even tried to, like, get rid of my accent because I was like, you can't, like, be where I'm from and be gay and then, like, date and, like, everybody else. Like, but now it's like one of my best qualities. It's like the thing that landed my husband, and like, it's like one of those things that I feel like makes us who we are. But many of us were told we couldn't reconcile those things. And I think seeing y'all do this gives us examples of how, like, in the mainstream, I think. And I mean, people are really surprised when I say I'm a pastor, like I'm a queer minister, I'm ordained, like I can do all the things a minister does. I wear robes, I wear a collar, and people don't know how to reconcile that either. But I feel like in the more mainstream of things, having a song like this and having y'all be a part of it and be so kind of be who you are and not be ashamed of that. I feel like people are yearning for that more and more these days of how do I reconcile who I am and where I'm from, and obviously ask those hard questions of, being from the South, you have to ask questions about racism and all those things. But how do we also reconcile being from those places and being who we are? And I think because of people's yearning to see an example of that, I feel like that is also how the divine works too. It's like y'all met a need and y'all saw and y'all met a need that so many of us were yearning for. And I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that have listened to this song and were like, this is the same story. Oh, I grew up listening to this song and we didn't know we could be who we were and listen to this at the same time and have people singing these things that are just like us. So I think y'all met a need that so many people really yearned for, and I think that's why you're seeing the response of it. Yeah.
Well, I always say, the church lives in you. You don't live in the church,
Yeah.
and you have an opportunity to build your own congregation, and guess what? No one can kick you out of your own church. So if this song is taking people to church, then stand in your kitchen, get the Holy Spirit. God is for everyone. Yes, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing, and it's. I wasn't. I have to be honest. The whole deconstruction thing. I didn't know a lot about that, and all I see is so much pain in people that they
Mhm.
had to take that path, you know?
Yeah.
And now I understand that it was the path they needed. But what I want to say is this, um, yes, deconstruct from the trauma in the church, but don't deconstruct from God because he's you're his beautiful child, and
Yeah.
that's just the truth. And they're feeling that in the song. Then, whoo! And Michael hits that high note and he holds it. I mean, come on. Remember the studio that day? I was like, "You got
Yeah.
another note? Go for it. Come on."
Right, right. Thank you for that. Yeah.
No, just I think the only thing I feel led to add is after what you're talking about, Lee, I do think people hearing this song are feeling seen and
Yeah.
feeling like not just healed or that they have the ability to heal, that they should be allowed to heal. And to me, it goes back to my deepest critique of most, and I say most clearly, Christian spaces that I was a part of. So the contemporary Christian music world, and then later the church world, where I was ordained and pastored for 8 years in a progressive church space. And my time there pastoring, my time there on the road, I also did prison work for over 6 years where I take concerts of prison. What I found, and later when I was post church and I worked in a middle school substituting, I just started realizing that people everywhere in all of these spaces, most people do not understand their inherent worth. They do not start with that. They start lower than that. They think they need to earn love. They think they need to be like there's a condition, whether we're talking about God, which all of you men have so beautifully spoken of, like a God that truly loves you. It's like you can't get to fully understand and honoring others equally if you don't honor yourself. And so I found that we have a worth problem. And so helping people understand their inherent worth, what I call then our also inherent connection to each other and the world around us and our responsibility. Like that's the lens from which I live my life. And that's my platform now. And that's what I sing from and what I speak from and what I write about. And I think that too many have experienced such way less than that. And so if anything, I think through this song, it's also saying like I have an ability to testify about a love that is much larger than any of us, includes all of us, and that I deserve that. Like I deserve
Yeah.
Yes.
in my own skin and on my own 2 feet or in my own way. And so we want to remind people of that.
Yeah. That's
Melissa,
so
Melissa,
helpful. Yeah.
You're in my church. Michael, you're in
Yeah.
my church. Zeke,
That is
Lee, you're my church.
that is so helpful because I do think it starts from a different orientation, right? Like you come to something, if you know you have self-worth and you believe in a God who created us and we are worthy, because many of us were taught we're unworthy of until we have to make a choice or until we do all these things to make us worthy to earn the love of God. And that's one of the reasons why I became a minister, because of that message of actually, you don't have to earn anything from God. God is here, whether you want God to be here or not, working in things, whether you realize it or not. There is no ability to choose that love
Yeah,
because we are literally just given it to us as we are birthed, even before we're born. I mean, it says in scripture,
preach.
like even in the
Yes.
womb.
Yeah.
And I think that that is so important for a lot of people to hear because now we are seeing all these things come at us to say we are unworthy, or because we're different, we're not a part of the kingdom of God, or we're not a part of anything else. And I think it is so important that people are reminded of that. And some people are just like, oh, that's just, it's some people just take that for granted in some way, but there are many people who were really grilled that was grilled into us when we were born
Yeah. Yeah.
and into our churches. And so I think the more we say it, I think all the better, even if we have to repeat ourselves. And that's what I tell people all the time. Keep saying it, even if you're repeating yourself, because somebody is going to hear it that needs to hear it that day.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I
so
agree.
helpful.
Well, it's entrenched in us in some faith circles, even down to our great hymns where we're singing Amazing Grace, a wretch like me. And earlier translations, I understand, even said worm like me.
Mhm.
And so we were taught that at a fundamental level. And then also that becomes our inner voice. And what has really given me great healing is to come to the place where I don't listen to that negative inner voice, because what you speak in your mind can manifest into reality. So I just want to speak positivity and speak to the inherent worth that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's so needed. It's really important. Yeah. And I'm glad people are getting examples of it. But I did also want to ask, and I don't know how much time we have, but I
Gotta
can
get Ty to sound check, but I can't speak for Melissa and Michael. They might have all night, I don't know.
I got
um
beach time, babe.
I know,
but
right?
Peace.
just maybe one last thing. I do wonder, like, yeah, what is next and what do you hope is next for you? I know Ty, you have some things going on and all of you have a lot of stuff, but I wanted to ask that before y'all have to go. Like, what is next for you? Is there plans for more stuff? Or yeah, I wonder about what's next.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that Michael will be doing more music. He'll be doing an EP coming up. We do know that, of original songs, and, yeah, I feel quite certain Melissa and I get to sing on that at some point. So,
Of course.
um, and my book is out right now, What Mattered Most. We're in New York City today. On a leg of the book tour. Um, and, gosh, just music and beautiful, clearly beautiful joy around the world. And Melissa, I know Melissa. I can't speak. Why am I speaking for y'all, Melissa? You got a book you working on?
You're doing great, Ty.
Thank
So
you.
I have a forthcoming book. It's my memoir, and tentatively titled "Testify to Love: Why I Left the Church and Keep Choosing Curiosity Over Fear." So I'm
Aw,
excited about continuing
that's
to write,
awesome.
share my story, and excited about doing more fun things together. The three of us have been, again, friends for a really long time.
Yeah.
Michael and I have been singing together for a really long time, and we've found more and more opportunities in the last year or two, a couple years, I guess, where we get to sing together, and we love it every
Right.
time we do. So
Yeah.
look forward to that.
And we have a video coming out next week for the song.
We do.
And so that's the immediate next.
And
And a special surprise for
a
Gene.
special surprise. It may have a little thump thump to it.
Oh,
And a
well,
disco ball.
yeah. Well, we will look forward to that. And I will just say that I have always dreamed of like having some form of maybe like a progressive Christian music like radio station or like some form of like a conglomerate of people doing all similar stuff. And I think it's would be so needed for many of us who really enjoy this type of music, but also know that it's coming from a place of like healthy theology and love and all those things. And Melissa, I also do a podcast, and when your book comes out, we would love to have you on here
Hey,
because
thank
it is. I think the more we talk about our stories and the more we're our authentic selves, that is where I think like you will be surprised where God will take us when we are who God created us to be.
We
And
are
so
very
Yes.
surprised right now.
I am so grateful that y'all found the time to do this with me.
Thank you, Lee. Yeah,
And
you bet.
just so you know, again, doing this has helped many of us. And I just want to thank y'all so much for doing it. So thank
Yeah,
you.
honored.
you bet. We're honored, yes.